love America? Do you hate the gay? Do you hate the trans? Do you hate the black? I mean, do you dislike liberals? Well, your rights are under fire, but not for long. Once I'm voted into office to protect your rights, vote for freedom, vote for God, and most importantly, vote for Dino 2023. Yeehaw. Do you know what I love most about America besides your apple pies and your good old boys? Is your politicians. You guys got some real wackadoodles. Now, don't get me wrong, both South Africa and England have also had their fair bit of crazy, but you lot absolutely take the cake. And personally, I think it's mainly your political ads to blame, to be fair. Like, you pretty much just smack talk the other side like a WWE match. Let me give you an example after I get this mic off.
Oh yeah, the macho man is running a Lib Dem campaign. You! Unlike the current sitting Senator Jack Eichenoff, I care about the people. And I don't eat babies like he does.
Alright, that bit was fairly cringe. But you get what I mean, it's like comically over the top. And nobody is more comical than my man Armand Bundy. A man who is literally impossible to take seriously. In spite of the fact when you Google him, the first thing that shows up is he's a militant. From what I can tell, he's an independent candidate, which is a shocker, who's most well known for holding an armed occupation of an animal refuge over some unpaid grazing fees. Not his own, mind you, on behalf of some local farmers, who didn't even ask for his help to begin with. After a while, he was arrested peacefully by the FBI, and all charges against him were dropped. And that should be the end of it, really. Like, that should just be it. He should have gone on with his life and enjoyed it as a car salesman. But he's an American, goddammit, and red, white, and blue flows through his dick and balls. And I'll be put in a dirt grave if I'm not gonna spread that freedom on the people. So he did his God-given task and ran for office of Idaho in 2021, obviously on the Republican ticket, stating his reasoning as he wants Joe Biden and the deep state to stop getting their control on Idaho. He's kind of like Batman if Batman went from vigilante to working within the system, except in Idaho. I didn't choose this city. It chose me. I mean, it really did, to be fair. Who would live in Idaho? It's a shithole. The only key differences between him and the Dark Knight is money, charm, a sense of right from wrong, being fat, being stupid, and any capability whatsoever. But the one thing that he has that the Dark Knight doesn't is an incredibly good editor and an incredibly good filmmaker by his side, who have made some of the funniest political ads I have ever seen in my life. And we're gonna go through them together, me and you.
If you can hear me, this is a warning.
There's a new threat in this great land, and it's come to Idaho. It can take on many forms and names, but we know it as the cult. With feverish hate, they work to destroy our sacred values, beliefs. There's only one way to fight this evil. Find them and chase them out. For now, they failed, but they're still lurking in the darkness. And this battle has just begun.
So much to unpack here. But I think the biggest flaw in all of this is, Armin, you set a fire in dry grass. Look around the scene, guys. I know you fancy yourself like a Superman-like hero, but you can't burn down the town you live in. I also love how he's like trying to show how heroic he is, but he's clearly too scared to put his foot in the fire. So like the absolute genius he is, he uses his hat. Armin, were you not in the Boy Scouts? Do you not know if you fan a flame, it makes the heat rise and the ashes spread onto dry grass? Are you trying to start a wildfire? And also, how much do you think he spent on this video? Because I've seen a drone shot, I've seen a cinematic edit with the music lining up with it, and there's no way he knows how to do that. And I've seen the props like robes, COVID masks, and even actors. Like $5K at the minimum. Bro, you should have just bought a building. You live in Idaho. I'm sure if you go up to Realtor and offer them 2 chickens, a few eggs, and 2.5K, they'll accept your offer. Just make that building your lair. This is a free marketing advice for you, by the way. And then write on the side that you want to be elected and what you stand for. That's much better marketing for the long term. And also, I doubt anybody in your town knows how to use a computer, so nobody's gonna see your fancy video anyways. Plus, people will pay attention. Something's happening besides the tumbleweed flying by. Next video.
Idaho liberals say that if I'm elected as governor, they will leave the state. Well, I'm here to tell you that when I'm elected governor, Idaho will help pay for their moving costs. After all, it's cheaper than keeping them here. Idaho spends nearly 40% of our annual budget on welfare programs.
Bro, why are you telling on yourself? Well, after we get rid of the libs, I'm gonna get rid of any form of healthcare. What an insane platform to run on. If you're not rich, get and die.
Hey, sir, I voted for you. I need insulin.
Well, now, you should have thought about that before eating a candy bar.
Liberal?
Also, dude, I'd be mad as hell if I had to pay any form of government tax and the bare minimum healthcare wasn't included. Then literally, what am I paying you people for? Even in South Africa, you can get treated by the government's dime. Granted, it's not very good healthcare, but when the alternative is not living anymore and Dr. Gupta shoving a needle in my eye in order to get rid of the brain evil, I think I'll take Gupta's needle.
That's almost $4 billion of your tax dollars going up in the smoke every year. As governor, we will be getting rid of property tax, income tax, and your grocery tax, and balancing the budget by ending our billion-dollar welfare state. Idaho isn't California, and if liberals have a problem with that, then we'll help them move there. After all, the moving costs will be only a fraction of the price to keep them here. No one is saying you have to leave, but if you're going to stay here, then you have to work like the rest of us.
$4 billion for a whole year. If you really hate unnecessary spending, you're gonna hate the military complex. By the way, welfare packages also help the disabled. And if this dude got into office, he'd move them personally. Well, I may have lost all my motor functions in Iraq, but at least the welfare state's still keeping me going. Guess again, liberal. No. Next video.
What makes California California? Is it the drugs? Is it the homeless? Is it the crime? Or is it the defecation in the streets?
The reason those things happen there is because stuff happens there. Idaho is not worth taking a shit in. Is that not telling of how boring your state is? What is Idaho famous for? Idaho is most well known for its potato production. Sick, dude. Meet celebs? No thanks. I'm gonna check out the potato factory.
Well, luckily for us, we don't live in California. We live in Idaho, where crime is stopped out, where men are still men.
Anyone who says men are still men is gay. There's a weird correlation with people on the far right and being secretly closeted. And sometimes it spills out just a little bit. You see, men who are comfortable in their own bodies and are comfortable with their identity won't project the fact that they're such big tough guys. I'll go up to my buddy right now and eat his ass just to prove how not gay I am. And you, my friend Armin, won't do that because you're too scared of what people will think about you. To me, an ass is an ass, lad. I know I might not be into this with this particular fella because he's my mate, but you're scared you're gonna like it. It's like little slips of the subconscious for them, where they're so desperate to let out their true selves that they gotta show it through ads. Like during the cut of this production, Armin was probably sat at the back of his editor whispering in his ear, "Are you sure you can't make him a little bit more oily? I just think that'll make, I think that just will make the effect that much better." Why are you drooling? Don't question me, just work. Last video.
Thing is happening across America. And it isn't isolated to California, New York, or Washington, D.C. It's in our classrooms. It's in our libraries. It's online. It's in our streets. It's in our parks.
And I really want it in my mouth.
And it's happening right here in Idaho. Our children are being groomed.
Are they really though? It's such a strange point to me. Okay, so for the better part of like decades, gay rights and like binary and all this stuff hasn't been talked about because it wasn't allowed to be talked about because it was gay rights and binary stuff. When we start loosening the laws on these things and people start becoming more accepting, at what point does it become grooming? That's just education. I think it's more important to give kids the tools they need in order to understand and cope with the world that people are different than them. So I don't understand why we would reject the education. Is it just because it's gay? I hate to break it to you dudes, unlike you guys, not everyone's secretly gay. So when we see stuff like this, we're not tempted to go to the devil's side. We're just chilling. I know you, Bundy, and all of your mates like to clutch your rosemaries and hold each other real close, just ever so delicately, right next to one another, out of pure unadulterated fear of the unknown. But you don't have to live like that, dude. And kids don't have to live like that. I'm not trying to morally grand slang because I hate YouTubers who who do that. Pisses me off. But it's really not as bad as you make it out to seem. Ignorance creates fear, and fear creates hate. And can I get my little medal for being such a good ally? However, I will concede one thing. During this political ad, he did show an image of a young child at a pride event on a stripper pole. I should not have to say this out loud. Children do not belong on stripper poles. Oh, Dean, you're so brave. I can't believe you had the balls to say it. I know, I'm just doing my job. That pole was invented for two things. One, firemen, and two, ladies of the night. And sometimes the two combine together. But at no point should a youngling be on it, and at no point should it be encouraged. That is sick. And if you don't agree with me, politely f off. Because I'm sorry, if you let this happen, you are a bad parent. I personally have 15 bastard children, and if one of them is lucky enough to find me one of these days, I will do a better job of raising them than you have with your own kids. Speed runs on some Bundy facts. I've been trying desperately to find a place where I can put these into the video, but I guess not, so I'm gonna have to awkwardly jam him in. Bundy once claimed one of his political opponents was wearing a wig and masturbated in public. He claimed another one was caught entering a high school girls' bathroom twice. He claimed yet another one of his opponents was trading promotions for sexual favors. And yet another one of his opponents he claimed was soliciting sex in an airport bathroom. And eventually his campaign was interrupted on March 12th after he was arrested for trespassing at a hospital in Idaho. Apparently he was trying to interfere with reports of child neglect. And that's how Batman of Idaho for you folks. I've had a blast making this video, and currently I'm working on another project which I'm hoping will be done by Saturday. You'll have to legally subscribe to find out, won't you? As for me, it's 2 in the morning, I'm knackered, I'm uploading this and going to bed. Sleep well, guys. Love you all. Bye bye.